Now on CoastTV News.
Partisan power play. Democrats in Delaware State Senate approve a bill that scales back Sussex County's authority on the controversial wind farm project. EMS in emergency, the fundraising taking place today to help first responders in Sussex County.
This is CoastTV News Midday.
Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm Elisa Weber and welcome to Coast TV News Midday. A controversial bill has cleared a hurdle in Delaware's General Assembly. We're talking about Senate Bill 159. It passed with the Senate, with all 15 Democrats voting for it. 5 Republicans voted against it. 1 GOP Senator, Gerald Hawker, was absent. The bill would overturn Sussex County's denial of a permit for alternative energy company, U.S. Wind, to build an electric substation near Millsboro. The legislation now heads to the Delaware House for consideration. Today, the Delaware House of Representatives is scheduled to convene in Dover. If today is like any other day this year, District 20 Democrat Stell Parker Selby will again fail to show up at Legislative Hall. Parker Selby, who represents roughly 23,000 registered voters in Lewis, Milton, and Harbison, has missed every single House vote this year. That's a total of 102 votes. Sources confirmed to Coast TV that Parker Selby had a stroke this winter. Her office has yet to return our calls for comment. And this is now going to bring us to our Coast TV poll. We want to know what should happen to Representative Stell Parker Selby's seat. And let's take a look at these updated results. 58% of voters say she should resign, 24% wait for her return, 17% House should remove her, and 1% are calling for the governor to get involved. And if you haven't voted yet, you can still do so at coasttv.com or on our mobile app. Today in Georgetown, a carnival is set to kick off to benefit Georgetown EMS. You might recall that this comes as a recently released financial report detailed findings that show American Legion Georgetown EMS is one of the most financially strained providers in Sussex County. To help raise funds, a carnival is running today through Saturday, June 14th. The time for Wednesday to Friday is 6 to 10 p.m. Then on Saturday, you can visit from 3 to 10 p.m. Officials say the current space is just not enough.
We're operating out of a garage that was not meant to be an ambulance station. And we're just coming up with ways for fundraisers.
Parking for the event is available at the surrounding streets except on Swain and Alfred Streets, according to the agency. New this morning, help could soon be on the way for Delaware families struggling with rising energy costs. Lawmakers passed a bill that would make gas and electric bills more affordable for low-income households. House Substitute 2 for House Bill 116 would allow the Delaware Public Service Commission to approve lower utility rates for families that qualify for programs like Low-Income Home Assistance Program. And if approved, the delivery portion of gas and electric bills would be reduced by up to 20%. That bill now heads to the Senate. We're now taking a live look outside at Rehoboth Beach, and our first alert meteorologist, Bob Trahey, is going to join us. Bob, look at all those people on the beach. That is a good sight. A little bit jealous of them, but I'm happy with the weather today, Bob.
Absolutely, Elisa. Tell you what, you get some nice weather, blue skies, warm temperatures, and boom, everybody shows up at the beach, and it's nice there right now. Temperatures in the low to mid 70s, but inland already lower 80s, Salisbury, Delmarva, Gumboro, Long Neck, Seaford, and some other spots as well. So we're really warming things up nicely. We had a cold front swing through this morning, a light northerly breeze over the land, but a little sea breeze starting to build up at the coast, and that'll keep you a little cooler today. We're looking at our dew point temperatures now into the 50s and 60s. That's telling us that drier air is building in, more comfortable air into the afternoon. And our visible satellite picture, well, we do have a little smoke still from those wildfires in Canada, so you'll notice the skies are not a perfect blue. As a cold front is sliding through, we're getting into a drier flow with high pressure, and this high will keep our weather nice the next couple of days and warm into this afternoon. Here's noon, 82 Millsboro and Delmar, 70s and lower 80s into Rehoboth and Lewis. So a beautiful beach day with 84 in Millsboro, 84 in Delmar mid-afternoon and late afternoon into this evening. Pretty much feeling like summer. So stay hydrated with water and have the sunscreen as temperatures get into the mid 80s. Coming up, I'll talk about the wildfire smoke, how long it sticks around. And right now it looks like it gets hot as the week goes on and a little unsettled for the weekend with some showers. More on that coming up a little bit later in the newscast.
Thank you, Bob. Happening today, BB Healthcare is opening its doors to the community for an open house at the new Long Neck Health Center. The event kicks off with a ribbon cutting at 3 p.m., followed by tours. Organizers say the center will soon welcome 4 new physician residents, allowing for around 20,000 appointments per year. Services will include men's and pediatric care, mental health support, dermatology, and more. Drivers in Salisbury, heads up. Right now, crews are repairing a sinkhole on East Naylor Mill Road. Outside lanes will stay open, but North Mall Drive will close between East Naylor Mill and Center Drive. Work is expected to wrap up by 3:30 this afternoon. The 39th annual Law Enforcement Torch Run for Special Olympics Delaware kicks off today, uniting nearly 800 troopers from across the state. Here are images from that event last year. Delaware State Police say the event spans 3 days and multiple legs. Troopers will carry the torch honoring athletes with intellectual disabilities. One of today's key stops is the Rehoboth Beach Bandstand at 7 p.m. Developing news across the world, at least 11 people were killed in a school shooting Tuesday in the Austrian city of Graz, with multiple others injured. Police say they recovered 2 guns that were used by the shooter, adding that there was only 1 suspect. Police say the suspected shooter is among the dead and later identified the suspect as 21-year-old man from Graz, adding that he appeared to have died by suicide. And new overnight as more protesters pop up across the country, President Trump is defending his move to send Marines and National Guard to Los Angeles while threatening more force. NBC's Chris Pallone shows us the differing efforts between both federal and local government to de-escalate the situation.
The streets of downtown Los Angeles largely quiet overnight after the city's mayor instituted a mandatory curfew. It followed another day of protests against widespread federal immigration raids. California Governor Gavin Newsom condemned the violent confrontations between protesters and police, which started Friday.
I want to be clear about this. If you incite violence or destroy our communities, you're going to be held to account.
But Newsom once again accused President Trump of making the situation worse. The president sending thousands of National Guard troops and hundreds of Marines to L.A. against the wishes of state and local leaders. Newsom now suing to send them home.
He again chose escalation. He chose more force. He chose theatrics over public safety. We do not want our streets militarized by our own armed forces, not in LA, not in California, not anywhere.
Speaking to soldiers in North Carolina, President Trump defended the deployments.
If we didn't do this, Los Angeles would burn. It would be burning to the ground right now, just like the houses burned to the ground just a few months ago.
On Capitol Hill, Democrats pressed Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth on the price tag for the National Guard deployment.
Could the Secretary please address the budget? Thank you.
You asked about the situation in Los Angeles, and we believe ICE agents should be allowed to be safe in doing their operations.
The Pentagon revealing it will cost roughly $134 million. And it appears the Trump administration will soon target other cities.
Should people expect to see similar operations in the rest of the country?
Yeah.
And will the protests see similar response?
Chris Pallone, NBC News, Washington.
Coming up after the break, pets over capacity. We'll tell you what the Brandywine Valley SPCA says contributed to making the month of May the highest intake this year. A recent surge in stray and neglected animals has pushed the Brandywine Valley SPCA's Dover campus beyond its capacity. With kennels full, dozens of dogs are now being housed in the lobby, waiting for their chance at a new home. The shelter is calling on the community to help by opening their hearts and homes through fostering and adopting.
I'm really hoping that we can grow our foster program. That's really what we need to do. If we could have, 1 out of every 5 people in Dover want to foster, that would be amazing. We wouldn't have this overflow problem.
In May alone, the shelter took in nearly 80 dogs, 63% were strays, and 32% were seized from cruelty or neglect cases, marking the highest intake this year. The Ocean City Air Show takes place later this week. Get ready for traffic, street closures, and limited parking. The show runs from June 14th to the 15th. This year will feature U.S. Navy Blue Angels, the F-16 Viper demo team, and more. And Draper Media, our parent company, is growing again, this time adding 6 radio stations to its lineup. The stations include WDEL AM and FM, WSTW FM, WXCY FM, WCEI FM, and Winx FM.
Weather-wise, we're seeing hazy, smoky skies right now in Laurel, 79, and inland areas low to mid 80s for today. We saw a cold front slide through earlier, and that will dry us out as we go into the weekend, but a warm up on the way. Big time. Could see our first 90 of the season as we go into tomorrow, and unfortunately unsettled weather on the way for the weekend and for Dad on Father's Day. Michael Parnell is our umbrella winner from Milford, Delaware. Congratulations to him from Paul Davis and Coast TV. Much more on this summer-like forecast coming up after the break. We have a beautiful Wednesday in progress across Delmarva. Tunnel and Razor Cam 82 in Lewis. We've got the sailboats lined up on the beach about to hit the bay. You can see the sky is not that perfect blue because we have some smoke out there and temperatures in the lower 80s even at the coast as we go into this afternoon. Let's talk about this smoke. We've already had one bout of the smoke from the Canadian wildfires a couple of weeks ago. Now it's another one, but once again, like that time, it's in the upper layers of the atmosphere. You can see the moderate to, at times, high levels of smoke. And then as we go into your Thursday, I think we do see it thin out a little bit, so maybe the sky's a little bluer in the morning hours, and then it looks like more of that smoke tries to move in as we go into the evening hours, but not as severe as the last time or as thick as the first round. We're looking at warm conditions. 82 Seaford, 80 in Georgetown, Willards up to 83, Millsboro 81, some cooler 70s at the coast, Lewis 73, 75 in Rehoboth and Bethany Beach, Ocean City 76, a beautiful beach day along the coast. Dew point temperatures anytime we're in the 50s and low 60s, that's an indication that it's more comfortable out there as drier air is building in with a light northwest wind over land, a little bit of a sea breeze developing along the coast, so you'll be a little cooler as we go into the afternoon hours. Visible satellite picture, not a cloud to be had, but we do have that haze and smoke from those Canadian wildfires over the top of us as we have a cold front continuing to sink to the south and east as drier Canadian air is building in with high pressure. And this high is keeping things really nice all the way from Maine across the Ohio Valley and into the plains as well. And eventually this high will kind of take up shop across the east coast, and then we'll be looking at high pressure both at the surface and aloft. That means sinking air and a big warm up as we're in the mid 80s today, close to 90 I think as we go into Thursday, and the humidity will start to creep up as well, so definitely feeling like summer as we go through the rest of the week. Here's 1 o'clock on Futurecast. Low to mid 80s inland, 70s and lower 80s from Lewis into Rehoboth, so beautiful conditions at the coast and inland around 82 to 85 as we go into the afternoon hours. Don't think we're looking at any showers, but definitely more comfortable air with the lower humidity. Beautiful evening if you're out and about, and as we go through the overnight, I think we could see more fog again late tonight into early tomorrow. That fog burns off, and then we're looking at really warm to hot conditions in the afternoon. Upper 80s around 89 in Milton, 88 Salisbury. I'm sure somebody is going to hit 90 as we go into tomorrow afternoon with 70s and 80s at the beaches, and a very warm Thursday evening with clouds increasing Friday, maybe a stray shower or storm Friday, and the weekend, boy, we're just not getting much luck on the weekends with nice weather. Clouds, showers and storms later Saturday into Saturday night, and then a front stalls out, and unfortunately it looks like some showers and cooler weather for Dad on Sunday, Father's Day, so make sure to have a plan B. And I think that rain even does linger into Monday as well and a little cooler. Here's our muggy meter. We get a break from the humidity today, but then it's back for the rest of the week into the weekend. Very humid at times. 84 in Harrington and Seaford and Laurel today, and 77 in Rehoboth. Beautiful skies and conditions. A little hazy with the smoke. 85 in Vienna up to Denton on the eastern shore. 85 in Salisbury, Crisfield 81, Chincoteague, and back into Ocean City into the upper 70s. Paul Davis 7-day forecast. Just about 90 on Thursday, mostly sunny. Mid 80s Friday, and then showers and storms Saturday 82, and have a plan B for Dad on Sunday with showers, a little cooler 76, and cool with showers continuing into Monday.
Here's what's coming up tonight on DSN at 8:30. Bennett takes on Parkside in Boyce Lacrosse. Then it's the final score at 10:30. And over on the DSN Plus app, along with that lacrosse game, you get at 3, girls a blue-gold soccer game, and right after that at 5, it's the boys' turn. And here's what you can expect this afternoon on Coast Life at 4.
Halfway through the week here along coastal Delmarva, and we've got more coast life to get you through it. Let's see what's coming up today on the show. We're talking some bicycle safety in Sussex County, especially as the summer season kicks off. You definitely want to be prepared and be safe out there. We're also going to do our pet of the week a little bit early, another fur baby to introduce you to in case you're wanting to take one home and welcome them into your home. And of course, we've got some music to jam out to down the street at Mid-South Audio. All of that fun and more is coming up today at 4 on Coast Life. We'll see you there.
Happening today, if you live in Lewis, you may notice low water pressure or discolored water. The Lewis Board of Public Works is conducting hydrant flow testing in the Old Town, Whites Pond, and Chestnut Street areas. To clear your water, run it cold for 10 to 15 minutes and avoid doing laundry during this time to prevent staining. There will be a programming change on June 13th that you need to be aware of. The U.S. Open will air from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. Then Wheel of Fortune begins at 7 p.m. with nightly news right after at 7:30. There will be no Coast TV news at 5 or 6 this day. Coast TV will be right back. Ocean City is reminding locals and visitors of scooter rules as the temperatures heat up. The town says no electric scooters are allowed on the boardwalk. Officials urge people to avoid disaster by obeying traffic signals, ride in sync with the direction of traffic, and yield to walkers and stay off of sidewalks.
We're seeing smoky skies and ocean views, 78 degrees, warming into the 80s even at the coast as we're seeing drier air building in today behind a cold front. And it's warming up the rest of the week, maybe our first 90s as we go into tomorrow and an unsettled weekend on the way. Call the Coast TV First Alert weather phone, sponsored by Brockstead, Mandalis, Federico. Your 10-day forecast is next. If you're outside this afternoon, make sure to have the sunscreen and the water to stay hydrated. Mid-80s inland areas and 70s and 80s at the coast. Paul Davis 10-day forecast, flirting with 90 Thursday, going 89, 86 Friday. Showers and storms into the weekend. A front's going to stall over the top of us, so showers and storms Saturday, 82. Cooler with showers on Sunday. Sorry, Dad. Maybe bring those plans inside. More showers into Monday. And then warming up as we head into the middle of next week. More rain chances by Thursday.
All right, thank you, Bob. And thank you for joining us here for Coast TV News Midday. And for more news and local weather, don't forget to join us for Coast TV News at 5 later this afternoon. Have a great day.